is the 5th of May 1818. In German city Trier, a young baby named Karl was born. At that time, nor his dad, his mom, his 2 elder siblings, the world, or himself actually knew that he would become a political something in modern Europe. But after his death, he probably could guess that his name would appear in books or documentaries, but what he probably really didn't know was that China would release an anime/cartoon about him and his life about 140 years later. Hello there, and welcome back to my beautiful channel. Today we have a special review. It's because we have a really special anime/cartoon/series we're talking about. You notice that I'm not just using the word anime because I really don't know what it actually is. But in 2019, China's video sharing website Bilibili released a cartoon, an anime, which is called The Leader, or in Chinese it would be Ling Feng. I'm sorry if I pronounce it so incorrectly, but I don't know Chinese. It has only 1 season with only 7 episodes, which are about average of 25 minutes. Some are less, some are a bit more. And why I'm not sure whether it is an anime or not: first, it's not Japanese. Second, the illustration is a bit weird. They look really like anime, like, you know, like typical manga traits that you would see in Japanese anime. But I felt like I was watching Barbie at some point. Because for 1 second, it's like 2D, it's like anime. Suddenly it turns into a 3D, where the people move in slow motion kind of stuff, and it feels like I'm actually in a game or in Barbie or whatever. So it was a kind of a mix, and I was a bit confused sometimes, but I would rather categorize it as an anime. And what this anime, let's call it anime now, actually is, it is a political and biographical portrait of the actual German intellectual Karl Marx, who lived from 1818 to 1883 and who was mainly known for his communist and socialist contribution during the period of European industrialization. If you want to know more about who he actually was, what he did, I will link some stuff below, but I'd suggest you'll also do your own research because this is not gonna be a political historical lesson. I'm really just referring to the anime I watched about him. What you need to know for now is that the essential fact is that he was not unimportant or uninfluential in the capitalist and, by that time, very inhuman and highly splitted society of the 19th century. If you didn't know, the capitalist's greatest antagonist is and was the great communist. If you don't know what these political systems are, you better find out first, or else you're not gonna understand this whole thing. Basically, this series is more of a biography than fiction, which I was not sure about first, to be frank. But after watching this and doing some research on Karl Marx himself, I discovered that nor the facts nor the people involved were actually made up in a fantastic way, but they were actually truthful. I mean, of course, it's a biography, so why would you expect fiction? But since it is an anime, first of all, and it's a very political and by that also sensitive subject, I had expected a bit more fiction, but I'm surprised that they kept it relatively, let's say, clean. Now comes the discussion part. I did not really do a summary of the plot because it's, you know, it's basically his biography referred to his political actions from the start to his death. What I have to mention, though I just said that it was relatively clear and transparent and truthful with the facts and the people, still it is not 100% perfect, of course. The purpose here was, of course, to present Karl Marx as a hero and role model, and by that they were also romanticizing his political involvement. And if you romanticize something, it automatically becomes not as realistic anymore, let's put it that way. Let's keep in mind here also that this was made for children. And here starts the fun part. Put 1 and 1 together and you get your result. First, it's sort of made for children too. I mean, you can of course watch it as an adult, but it was made so that children also can watch it, and it was, you know, made in a way so that they could understand. Second, it's a Chinese production. That equals the so often occurring critique. Political education, or even indoctrination. You can find articles, I even found German articles because, I mean, this was a German biography. Articles that imply or address this major point with the suspicion that this is exactly the goal of the Chinese government, to explain and motivate China's young descendants for this apparently best political system, which is of course also China's political system, by the way. And why this tactic could be so powerful? By using a different country, a completely different continent actually, a different culture that represents the same view and standpoints that China has. This makes communism in this case look as something good, desirable, and right. It's a form of confirmation from the external. Understanding this suddenly makes the whole thing crystal clear, if it wasn't already obvious before. Though I was a bit confused. I mean, yes, it is simplified and it is romanticized, because children should be understanding this as well. But some political stuff was not the easiest to understand. At least I wonder how children can follow the sometimes occurring complexities, which go hand in hand with politics in general. But maybe the Chinese dubbing was easier, I don't know, I didn't watch it in Chinese, of course. So for ending this, I'd like to keep this open. As I said, it is not an average, usual review, because I don't want to bash anything here, I don't want to bash China, I don't want to give my opinion, because to be honest with you, I don't really have a deep opinion about this. I don't. I actually enjoyed watching it and I learned something about Karl Marx, because yeah, watching something is maybe easier and more fun than just reading a random biography. But if you ask me about my evaluating political perspective, I don't know. I'd rather ask you about your opinion. So let's talk about this. Is it okay to do what they did? Or is it outrageous? Or is it even not as big of a deal? Leave it in the comments. And that was basically my review. I hope you enjoyed watching it. I hope it was interesting and you could take away something from it. Have you actually watched this anime/cartoon as well? What is your opinion? What was your feeling when watching this? What do you think about China doing this? Do you think it was on purpose, or was it just, you know, for entertainment? Let's talk about this. I always like to read your comments, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe if you want to see more content of that kind. And now I say goodbye, stay healthy, keep your mood up, stay protected, and we'll see each other next time. Goodbye.